ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्लोक 52। जन्म मृत्यु प्रवाहेषु पतितो नैव शक्नुयात् इतः उद्धर्तुमात्मानं ज्ञानादन्येन केनचित्। The question was asked by a student, a seeker, that is it possible to gain this liberation by any other method other than the path of knowledge? And the answer is no. The only way to attain liberation is through knowledge. An individual who has fallen in this continuous flow of birth and death and old age, disease, sorrows, etc. From that, itaha ebhyaha janma mrityu pravahebhyaha atmanam jnanad anyena kenachit uddhartum naiva shaknuyat. He cannot lift himself by any other means other than knowledge. So what is meant by this? Many people have idea that there are 4 paths to liberation: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Raja Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. You can follow any one and you can attain moksha. This is how generally people understand. And here Bhagwan Shankaracharya Ji says no. And he is saying this on the strength of the Vedic sentence Nānyah pantha vidyate ayanaya. Ayanaya, for the attainment of the goal, anyah pantha na vidyate. There is no other path other than jnanam. So in Shvetashvatar Upanishad it is said in Purush Suktam also. So it is there in all Vedas, because Purush Suktam comes in all Vedas. Nānyah pantha vidyate yanaya prajapatis charati garbhe antaha. And right after that in Purush Suktam it is said ajayamano bahudha vijayate. So Atma is aja. Ajayamanah san bahudha vijayate. It being of the nature of birthless, yet it goes through 84 lakh yonis, the possibilities of birth. Birthless goes through the cycle of birth and death through 84 lakh yonis. Means so many species, so many varieties in which he gets the birth. This is only because of ignorance. And therefore, because aja cannot have janma, birthless cannot have birth other than out of ignorance. So knowledge alone is the method of elimination of ignorance. Not 4 paths in the form of karma, bhakti, Ashtanga Yoga, all of them, they are not the path for liberation. They are the paths for purification of mind. For purification, there are many paths. But for liberation, all those paths should first come, and then there is only one path. They all should come to Jnana Yoga. So, Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. Therefore, Kaivalyam is attained only through Jnanam, Nānyadanyat. Now, this is said by Upanishad, this is what is said by Acharyas and explained in various ways. What is meant is that my fundamental problem is not realizing the fact that I am already Brahma. This is my fundamental problem. So karma will not tell me that I am Brahma. Karma will give me results in the form of prosperity, greater benefits, objects of pleasure, better body, better world to live in, different loka, different surroundings, different family. All these things will be attained through karma. Karma will not tell me I am Brahma. Devotion to God, bhakti. Bhakti will not tell me I am Brahma. Bhakti will detach me from the world and attach me to God. Bhakti will make my heart pure, sincere. It will melt for the Lord. Bhakti will increase my surrender to God. This is the role of devotion. I will, if I see God in all beings around and also in the nature, I will love everybody. I will work in unison with all people around. I will be one with the surroundings. But I will not be able to know that I am Brahma, that I am infinite, that I am not a doer, experiencer, I don't have karma. This I will not know through devotion to God directly. That's why Bhagwan himself has said in Bhagavad Gita, to such devotees, I will kindle the Jnanam in their heart through some teacher. That teacher will bring scriptures, then they will give knowledge. Upadeṣyanti te jnanam, jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Such jnani, tattvadarshi mahatmas will teach you. Through jnanam you will attain liberation. Ashtanga Yoga will not tell me I am Brahma. In Ashtanga Yoga there is no word called Brahma. In Ashtanga Yoga, Jagat is not mithya. Ashtanga Yoga will streamline my lifestyle. Lot of unnecessary things which are there, I can get rid of through Ashtanga Yoga. But what we see is, generally people think Ashtanga Yoga means following yoga and pranayama. And most of such people in the West in particular, they want to live affluent lifestyle and also say, I am following yoga philosophy. which will never go together. So Yoga Darshan is not for all those things. Yoga Darshan is where you actually live a life in solitude, where lot of time is spent on dharana, dhyana, samadhi, for concentration of mind, etc. So all those paths, and if you come out with 20 other new yogas in future, other than Jnana Yoga, all those paths will also become means to Citta Shuddhi. So if somebody says, I am doing Japa Yoga, it is for Citta Shuddhi. Somebody says, I am doing Tirtha Yatra Yoga, it is for Citta Shuddhi. And if somebody comes out with new words, I'm not going to refer to any of those names, but there are many such things. They all will be for Citta Shuddhi. So Jnanam alone is the means to liberation. And to support that, now again, Upanishad Pramanam is given from Atharva Veda Mundaka Upanishad. Vidyate hrdaya granthesh chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishta iti shrutehe. If we don't read the shloka and if we just recite the shloka from the memory, then it will be Tasmin drishte paravare. That's why you have to be alert. Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishta iti shrutehe. Bhagwan Bhashyakar says, this is said in Shruti. In Shruti it is said tasmin drishte paravare. Tasmin paravare drishte sati. When that para and avara, the higher, the absolute Paramartha and the Vyavahara, everything is understood as one's own self. Para eva avara. Parascha avarascha paravare. Tasmin paravare drishte. When that para and avara both are understood as one's own self, then what happens? Hrdaya granthi bhidyate. The knot of the heart is broken. And you will find this shloka quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam at least 3 to 4 times. Upanishad mantra is quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered as a Bhakti Grantha. So that itself tells you that liberation is through knowledge. Because Upanishad is referred there. Not, this is just one example. So many other Upanishadic quotations are given there. Vidyate hrdaya granthi. What is the granthi? Granthi here is the knot between Atma and Anatma. The superimposition or adhyasa. I, the Atma, Satchidananda, Brahma, and Anatma, Deha, Indriya, Prana, Mana, Buddhi, etc., or any other Bahya Anatma, there is no connection between the two. Because Atma is Asanga. It is Paramarthika. Everything else is only appearance, Vyavaharika. So their coming together itself is an illusion. This is the knot. this knot is broken by knowledge. So all along in this life, if I have been thinking I am this Swami, I am this human being, Manushyoham, Purushoham, and I am Swami so and so. I have 2 hands, 2 legs, etc. All these features. I was born in a particular place, now I am in a particular place. All this is erroneous. This notion will be broken. This is called hrdaya granthi bhidyate. And sarva samshayaha chhidyante. Asya will go with everybody, everything. Asya is asya jnaninaha, of this jnani who has attained knowledge. Then his hrdaya granthi is broken, his doubts are destroyed. Chhidyante sarva samshayaha. So doubts in the form of how did this world come into being? What is the purpose of this world or creation? What is my purpose in this creation? Why are people suffering? All sorts of questions that are there. Or how can the world be mithya? How can I be Ananda Swarupa Brahma and I am also seeking Ananda outside? How is it possible? How can one Atma express through all creatures, starting from Brahmaji all the way up to an ant, a blade of grass? How is it possible? All these are doubts. All doubts will get answered. Means all doubts should get answered when we study Shastra thoroughly. And then that there are so many different schools of philosophies. Charvak darshan is there in the form of people thinking body is Atma, sense organs are Atma, prana is Atma, mana is Atma. 4 schools of Buddhism are there. They think they are Atma. Different schools of Jainism are there. They have their own idea of Atma. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Purvamimamsa, all these darshanas are there. Pashupatas, different Vaishnavas are there. They all have different ideas about Atma, about nature of Ishvara, the nature of the world. What is the nature of moksha? How do you say what is said by Advaita Vedanta alone is actually what is said by the Upanishad? Or what is said by the Upanishad alone is reflected in Advaita Vedanta is the only non-dual teaching, whereas everybody else talks about duality. And what I experience through all other means of knowledge is only duality. These are the doubts. All these doubts have to go. Until they are gone, hrdaya granthi bhedanam is not possible. Because those doubts will not make my knowledge firm. This is the problem because of the doubts. Like if somebody will ask, is there class tomorrow or not? And if the answer is yes, then you know it is very clear, definite. Or if the answer is no, there is no class, over. But if the answer is, generally there is no class, but tomorrow there might be a class, so that means there is no certain answer. that doubtful knowledge has not given you any answer really. So if the doubts are there, then the knowledge will never become firm. So hrdaya granthi bhedanam, sarva samshaya chhedanam, and asya karmani chakshiyante, and all his karmas of this person who has attained doubtless knowledge, all his karmas also will be destroyed. So sanchita, agami, all are gone, and as far as prarabdha is concerned, from his standpoint, there is no prarabdha. Prarabdha is there only from the standpoint of other people. They think this jnani has prarabdha. As far as jnani is concerned, he knows I am Brahma. Brahman does not have any prarabdha. And if Brahman has prarabdha, then you have not understood Shastra. In this way, the teaching is concluded and the result of this teaching is also given. Now, the last shloka is summarizing the teaching. Mamahamitye tadapohya sarvato vimukta-deham padamambaropamam sudrishta shastranumitibhya iritam vimuchyate smin yadi nishchito naraha. Yadi asmin naraha nishchitaha bhavet, you have to supply. If in this a person becomes firm, deeply rooted, firmly established, naraha nishchitaha, in this knowledge, then, and also mama, in what he has to become firm, it is said sudrishta shastranumitibhya iritam. What is spoken by sudrishta shastra, what is said by scripture, but the scriptures which are very closely looked at. Sudrishta means I have to study Shastra meticulously and thoroughly. And I should be able to resolve the seemingly conflicting statements coming from scriptures or from teacher also. Because teacher also sometimes have to use the contradictory sentences or words to communicate the teaching. So sudrishta means very closely looked at. Shastra which is looked at thoroughly, closely. And anumitibhyaha, anumiti, shastranumitibhyaha, shastra and anumiti. Anumiti means anumana pramana. You will have to use yukti. Yukti doesn't mean some random yukti. Yukti here means yukti based on the philosophy of nyaya in the form of where there is some paksha, sadhya, hetu, drashtanta. In this way. Such anumiti. Sudrishta shastra anumiti bhyaha iritam. Iritam spoken, that which is taught, revealed. So it is spoken by the Shastra and through the Yukti, Shruti and Yukti. The only difference is that in text like this, UpadeshaSahasri or Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, Viveka Chudamani, etc., all these elaborate texts which are there, in them the teaching is made easier with the help of examples, etc., but at the same time Shruti quotations are also supplied. So it has the same subject matter, same audience is kept in mind, and same purpose it serves as the Upanishads. At the same time, it is simplified, and each text has some particular focus. Like UpadeshaSahasri has a particular theme in mind while teaching and particular level of student. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha would have a different level of student, and different aspects of teaching are kept in mind. Panchadashi has its own way of communicating. So in this way, each text focuses on certain aspects. So spoken by Shruti and Yukti, and when the person who studies this also should have reduced or eliminated mamahamiti etad apohya sarvataha, from everywhere, mama and aham, mine and I, iti etad apohya, these ideas are eliminated. Apohanam means to remove. So such ideas, etad apohya. In other words, I cannot just go on studying and not have enough vairagya to let go of the external world and my panchakoshas also. If I can't let go of these, then the knowledge will not become firm. So, along with Shruti and Yukti, it should be substantiated by vairagya. That I should be able to drop everything anytime. And anytime doesn't mean, anytime I can drop everything. So I know I can drop everything anytime, but not now. You have to prove to yourself that you can drop it. Mamahamityetad apohya sarvato, then such individual, naraha, vimukta deham ambaropamam padam prapya, you will have to supply vimuchyate. Vimukta deham, that which is free from body. Body means all three bodies, gross, subtle, causal. Vimukta deham. Ambaropamam, that which is similar to space. So that example earlier also we saw, space example, sun example, fire example, all of them have come so many times. Atma is like the space, akashavat sarvagatascha nityaha. Having attained that means having known that that is who I am, vimuchyate, he becomes free. So, nishchitaha, when he has this firm understanding, then he will be free. So, mamaham iti etad apohya, giving up mama aham. In there is one composition called Dhanyashtakam. In that Bhagwan Shankaracharya Ji, it is Bhagwan Shankaracharya Ji's composition, he says, Tyaktva mamahamiti bandhakare pade dve. These are the two means of bondage, mama and aham. So you have to give up. Anything mine, you let go. Anything where aham buddhi becomes strong, let go. Our body, in the body, the idea should be that this is just like a leaf about to fall from the tree anytime. Depending upon when the wind comes, it will fall. So, no special attachment, no special purpose, no extraordinary goal in life. Everything is just a play of Maya. In that, all I have to do is wake up. So, such an individual attains the liberation, vimuchyate. Vimuktascha vimuchyate. As Kathopanishad says, the individual who knew that he is already liberated, he has attained liberation. Or Jivan Mukta San Videha Mukto Bhavati. Being Jivan Mukta, he attains Videha Mukti also. With this, the shloka is complete, the chapter is also complete. Now I will give you a brief overview of what we have studied in this chapter. Because the chapter is longer, so it's good to do a revision for one's own self. So in first three shlokas, the theme of the chapter was given Nānyadanyat. In other words, that which is non-Brahman can never become Brahman. That which is samsari can never become asamsari. That which is finite to begin with can never become infinite. I have to be infinite to start with. Sureshwaracharya Ji is a strong proponent of this idea. Brahma alone thinks that he is Jiva. And therefore, Brahma alone gets the knowledge that I am Brahma. Actually, this is said in Brihadaranyaka itself in 1.4.10. Brahma va idam agra asit tad atmanam eva aved aham brahmasmi iti. Tasmat tad sarvam abhavat. Brahma alone knew, it came to know that I am Brahma. So this is the fundamental idea first, and therefore all my spiritual practices, having come to UpadeshaSahasrī and completing 15th chapter, my focus should be very clear that first I have to understand I am already liberated. And my problem is either not knowing that I am Brahma, Chaitanya, and identifying with Ahankara, or even though I know that I am Brahma, I am not this body, I am not Ahankara, repeatedly I identify with those things, or I have some attachment which I can't let go of. So where is my main problem? And I should do concentrated effort only on that problem, not do general sadhana anymore, having come to this stage of sadhana. Then from 4th shloka onwards up to 8th shloka, the role of karma and the role of karma sannyasa was presented. that there are so many karmas which are enjoined by the scriptures, but sannyasa is also enjoined, and that I must take up renunciation to exclusively study and abide in this knowledge, in this wisdom, if moksha is my goal in this life. If I can't get it, if I can't fulfill, that is different case. But my priority is clear. My goal is clear. I have to get it, and I have to get it in this life only, and more importantly now. Then for that person, it is said you take sannyasa, and then how to use my time? So it is said you dwell on the nature of Atma. That is the topic from Shloka 9 to 37. Atma Swarupa Vichara. In that, from 9 to 18, different topics were dealt, like how to use Shruti Vakya, Smriti Vakya. So Ishavasya example was given, Bhagavad Gita example. To dwell on Atma, to do Nididhyasanam. So when I have taken karma sannyasa, I have lot of time, because nobody expects me to go and work or have family, children, etc. I have lot of time for myself. Then how should I use my time? Or those people who have fulfilled their duties and now they have lot of time on their hand, what should they do? Not go on talking to people, calling friends, visiting the world, etc. You have to dwell on the teaching based on Shastra and teaching given by Acharya. From 19 to 21, a mumukshu should do viveka. That was given. And from 23 to 37, 22 to 37, different kind of viveka was pointed out. In particular here, avasthatraya viveka. That the Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti avasthas are there, they come and go. I am untouched by the three states, the objects in those three states, and I am really not the experiencer. In other words, even when I feel I am samsari, I am asamsari. Dhyayati iva, lelayati iva. Even like how when we feel that when the boat is moving in Gangaji in one direction, we think Himalayan mountain is moving in the other direction. Naganam gamanam yatha. It was said in earlier 4th chapter, I think. So movement of mountain is illusion. In the same way, kartritva, bhoktritva, pramatritva in me is an illusion. So in this way, I have to do viveka. And Shloka 30 in particular pointed out different confusions, whether Atma is Chetana or Achetana, Karta or Akarta, in various ways. How Atma is understood. Baddhaha, Muktaha, does it go anywhere from one body to another body? All these are different ideas, and it is Ekaha, Anekaha, Shuddha, Ashuddha. And in 37th shloka, the nature of Atma, in all these topics it was revealed that it is Shuddha, all-pervading, Shanta, pure, like space, actionless, partless, eternal, free from all duality, consciousness which is ever there. In this way, it was pointed out. And then from 38 to 50, the topic of nature of Atma Jnanam was revealed, that Atma Jnanam is where I have to understand Atma is not Jnata, Atma is not Jnaya, Atma is not Ajnata, it is not Ajnaya, it is not Karta, which we just recently saw. And then the result of this knowledge was pointed out from 51 to 54, that there is no coming back, no return to this world. And also, I understand that I never had any birth to begin with. All my doubts are resolved, etc. So, I was ever free. And now I know that I am ever free. It is not that he becomes free. He understands I was ever free. And now I know that I was ever free. In this way, the teaching is beautifully imparted here. And therefore, as it was said earlier, that the bondage and liberation idea, they are also superimposed on Atma. Really speaking, there is no concept of bondage liberation as far as Atma is concerned. As far as Ahankar is concerned, everything is there. Actually, from Ahankar standpoint, as Ahankara, there is no liberation as such, because you will be constantly going through up and down only. With this, the summary is also concluded and the 15th chapter is over. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punaha Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.